looks like we're at round 2. We found another Leaf. Paid a little more for this one because it's not smashed with a tree inside of it. But it did not come with the wheels. It has a very healthy battery. 75%. And I have a lot of parts I can sell off of it to recuperate my money. Alright, let's have a look inside. Got the nice display. Another beautiful day in Florida. And I have another Nissan Leaf here. And I'm about to yank this battery out of. First, I need to use this guy and get all these leaves out of the way. And those are actually the ones I used last time. I did get a new jack. I have another jack that's really big. The other one from Harbor Freight, the off-road one. And then I got some jack stands. I've got more jack stands. I was missing a piece of it. And I got some jack stands here. Wheels are off. And yep, there's a battery in there. It's been sitting for a couple weeks and it's still at 45%. I thought it was at 41% when I parked it, so if anything it gained juice and didn't lose anything. Alright, so step 1, we're going to go ahead and zoom in there. I got some 10mm bolts there that need to be taken out. And also, I've already taken that one out, but it's one of these push pins. There's another 10. There's another 10. Okay, there's one of the clips. So you'll probably run into some of those. But I'm going to go ahead and get all the shields off and then try to figure out the best way to pull this battery out and not have to struggle so bad. You know, I got experience. We can do this a lot quicker. So, needed some wood, 2x4 pieces, and well, no gas production, so here we are. Thing's pretty awesome though. Hey, look, we got a visitor. You gonna attack me? Yeah, alright, so I got two 2x4 blocks on each side on the back, and then I put 2 in the front, but I still had to go and jack it back up because I didn't unplug it. So there it is. Unplug. Let me see if I can get you in there a little deeper there. Turn the light on. There we go. Yep. There we go. And my hand out of the way. Alright, so that's pretty much it. 3 blocks there. We got 2 blocks over here. 3 blocks. 4 blocks back there. Got that little jack there. Another jack stand just in case it falls, I guess, more. But here we are. We finally got where we were going for, or what we were going for. Just trying to get as low as possible, but still be able to roll these underneath. So now, you can see how I really don't have too far to go. I could lower it down, but I think when I start unloosening these bolts, it's going to start dropping down, and it should drop right where I want it to be. If not, I can drop the car down just a little bit more so it'll start touching it. But we'll see what happens. Alright, so now we have two back where we started. And then everything that I had in the front is still the same. But now, if you look, I mean, it is just right up on it. I had to kind of push it in just a hair. This one's got like a little bit of gap on it. So as soon as I lower that battery, it'll go right on it. Most of the weight's in the back, so... And I've only got $2. Should be fine. Well, it started getting a little dark, losing sunlight here, so I stopped recording. My phone was also dying, but here it is. I managed to get it out. I think it took me about 3.5 hours, but I was running around trying to find stuff and having to jack this thing up and lower it and everything and back and forth. But here she is. Finally. So I'm done for the day. I need to clean up. Alright, here we go. We're day 2. The battery is tucked under there to make sure I don't get any morning dew on it. So I've brought my Leaf over because I will have to take these wheels off and put them on here, and then I'm going to have to roll this guy out of here. Now, one of the things I was worried about, I figured I should check first, is to see if it'll actually go into neutral. So you can see there's nothing showing for the battery because there is no battery. This display and everything probably still works, you know. So all that's still functional and showing everything. But what I want to see is if it can go in neutral, because that's going to be a big issue if it can't. And boom, there we go. So we'll go into neutral, so that's good. Alright, let's get this thing out of here. Alright, so wheels are off, and they are on over here. I didn't put my wheel spacers on, so you can see quite the offset there. And if you want to look underneath here, you can see there's no battery. What's funny is, like, there's absolutely nothing in the back. Let me get over here so I can show you. Kind of like the Leaf Moto guy where he put the H2 motor back here. I mean, there's nothing back here. It's almost like a little pickup truck. So much empty space. I didn't realize it was missing the plastic till I got back here. And I was removing the bolts for the battery in the back. Not like it matters, but man, all that space. What to do with it? Alright, on the ground. My goodness, look at that wheel gap. Ah, it's so hideous. I am over that 2x4 there just so I could lower it down a little easier. Not like I really care about the body on this thing. I don't think I'm going to be using it. It's just going to go to scrap anyways, but well, I'll probably sell stuff off it. Alright, so one of the things I noticed is I did run spacers on these, but I didn't really have any rubbing at all using these wheels without the spacers. But I think the brakes are different. And so I remember hearing something, but it kind of just went away. So it looks like I got a couple of nicks right there in this one. This one's not too bad. I don't know if it's a bad thing that it didn't show the marks all the way around like it did on this one. And then I'm looking at this. Like, are my brakes even working? I guess that's just rust from it sitting. Anyways, so this one, yeah, that was definitely what was making that little bit of noise, but then it went away because I guess it made clearance. But it's not that bad, it's just really a scratch. So I think it'll be alright. But yeah, probably should have took my spacers out and put them on. Alright, so it's back down, and I was about to go jacking it up so I could rip this battery out of here. And I realized I'm full, so I need to drain this battery down. Alright, so I'm trying to bring the battery down, and I want to prevent any kind of regenerative braking. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually put it in neutral. So I'm about to slow down up here in a second here in about a quarter mile. So some bikers trying to ride the yellow line. Alright, so see, it's trying to regen. Alright, now I put it in neutral. Alright, so I kind of screwed that one up just a little bit, but I did stop it from doing half the regen. There's just so much traffic. I'm trying to hold this phone and I hit a biker. But so we're just cruising along about 50. So I can kind of give it a nice pull like that. Get up about 70, and then we'll. Oh, yeah, it's kind of hard to do. Alright, there we go. Now we're in neutral. So now we're just coasting along. Oh, shit. Alright, let me stop filming before I wreck myself. I also turned the air conditioner on just to pull a little extra juice. We're already at 83%. So I'm going to do a 60 to 80 pull here. Let it coast down. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around right here. So it's in neutral, so I'm not going to get any regenerative braking. So this is all just regular old brakes doing the job. That way I don't charge the battery at all. And that's how you're trying to drain your battery quicker. For some weird reason like mine, that's how you do it. Alright, we are back. So we're at 64%. That's pretty good. I'll go ahead and pull it at that voltage. And it is about 2 o'clock. It's actually a really nice day. Can't say how much that'll be for tomorrow. Now, ever since I put this ground effects on, I was actually pretty good about not damaging anything. But I hit a curb that I thought was just grass. And no, it was a grass-covered curb. But surprisingly, the fiberglass actually held up pretty good. You can see from there. I got a bunch of spider webs, but it's repairable. But I don't know what's more impressive, that the fiberglass took that kind of hit and actually my car actually lifted off the ground for a second, or the fact that it didn't even break the bond with the vehicle. It's just crazy. I didn't know fiberglass was that strong. I thought I was going to look and just see this thing absolutely destroyed. But it's still there, and I'm going to do a little bit of fiberglass repair, and then I will paint it the same color as the car. But here we are right now. So what I'm going to do is I've actually got it unplugged already. I realized I didn't lock my plug in. Oops. But I've gone 30,000 miles or 20,000 miles, and it's fine. So this time I will lock it in place. I just kind of basically plugged it in and slid the sleeve over, but then pushed the little blue lock. So probably should do that. I'm going to go ahead and take those 2 bolts out. And then I'm going to take the 2 bolts out in the very back. That'll leave only these bolts, the structural bolts. 3 on each side, holding it up, and then I'll go ahead and lower the vehicle down. Since my car is so low to the ground, I literally think I can just drop the pack right onto the dollies. Alright, so there's the 4 bolts that are in the back here. They are a 5/8 or 16 millimeter, either way you want to go. These are the tools I use because I'm a peasant and I can't afford good tools. No, just kidding. I left all my good tools at work, but you can use something like this. It works. You just need to break the bolts loose, and then after they're broken loose, sorry, it's a little tight in here. Once they're broken loose, there's a hole there. So it's these brackets right there. There's two of them. There's the other one. And there's also 5/8 up there. I've never had to really actually loosen those. You could take this whole entire bracket out, but like I said, I never had any issues with it. And I kind of use it as guides, like that's exactly where it needs to be. Alright, so I still got to go to the front. Also, this is what normally is underneath the Nissan Leaf, and it just looks like there's a bunch of stuff in there, but when you look inside, we already know there's nothing in there. You can't see. Man. Alright, so I got both the 8 millimeters that are right there in the front. They're right there, and there's another one right there. They're not really structural, but they need to come out. So now the front is out, the back is out. So like I said, there's only the sides holding it, so we're going to go ahead and drop it down. Also, there's 10 millimeters that are right there on both sides. So I loosen one and then take the bolt off completely and just kind of shift it up and tighten it back so it's out of the way. Alright, so in case you're wondering, that's CAN bus right there. That's your main harness where all your power comes from. And that last guy right over there, that's the heater. Alright, so I've got the slammed Nissan Leaf on the ground. I've removed the plastics, and would you look at that? It's literally perfect. Like that one is like touching, but it's not actually touching. Like it's right there, perfect. Alright, so here we are. I've got all the bolts out. There's the back bolts. There's the middle bolt. And I've got about a finger's worth of space there in between when I lower it down. So you don't have much room or space that you can actually have in between the dolly and the battery. It needs to be very close so when you drop it down, it doesn't fall onto the dollies, that it just kind of lowers itself down to the point that when you start to take these bolts out, they would have like a little bit of a gap. Like they're holding and then the dollies start holding, so the bolts will start to not be flush with the battery anymore. You'll start to notice a gap, and that's when you know the load is actually on them and not on the bolts. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Alright, so let's get this pack out of here. Alright, so here's the thing. I want to pull from behind or from the side. The thing is, the battery's over there for the other one, so I probably need to do it from the side. So I need to move this jack stand to the back here somehow. And you can see it's almost easier to do it from the side, because I think you have a little bit more of an easier time getting it through. The front is super easy to get through. It's just the kind of the back where all the weight is. Massive pack. We're almost there. We're almost there. I think it's like 3:30. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, alright, I put the jack over here. I'll go ahead and slide this battery out and then, wait a sec. Oh Lord. Don't damage my phone any more than it is. So yeah, I can't move this battery. So, this battery cannot go here because this battery's in the way. This battery needs to go a different direction. So it's gonna have to go the other direction. So let me fix this real quick. Alright, so now that I got on that side, that jack stands back over there. So originally when I got that wrecked vehicle, the first one, the maroon, dark metallic red, I thought this battery pack would have been in better shape, but then I realized he had quick charge and he had more mileage than mine. This pack is now sitting at about 130,000 plus miles and 54% capacity. Still a good battery. You can see I actually seemed like the sealant job did hold up pretty good when I opened it up, or did the disconnect in the middle here, this guy. There was a relief of pressure, slight pressure relief, which kind of scared the crap out of me. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I guess that means that it was sealed up. So out with that guy. And in with this guy. It's so much work, but we're talking 100,000 miles of driving being taken off this vehicle, or that battery. You know, like, so the range of this is going to be so much better for my drive. Alright, all the jack stands, jacks, and pieces of wood are all gone. So it's sitting on its wheels. And let me get some light in here. There we go. Alright, so we can see how much gap we have here. It's about a finger. So I should be able to get the bolts in there. I may have to deflate the tires more since this suspension had time to unspring itself. So I got to bolt it in first, and then we can jack it back up, and then I can plug it in, and then get the front bolts, get the back bolts back in, get the shielding back on. But it's starting to get dark. Alright, so storms are brewing. I've already been working though. And there's the battery now. I got it underneath the RV. It was a complete pain in the butt, but I got it over there. Those weren't much help because I had to go through the dirt. Can't move my car because it doesn't drive. Didn't feel like pushing it back and forth through the dirt. I'm by myself. I did give it a little bit of help to get this over here though, because it was impossible by myself. It was still almost impossible with two people. But there's that. I took a hole, dragged it all the way from over here. So right now, besides put my center cap on, I need to put air in these tires and get them pumped back up. Then I'm going to jack up the front so I can actually plug in the main harness, the CAN bus, and the heater wires, and I still got to put all my shielding back on, like that guy over there, which that's from the other car. Alright, so everything's plugged in, it's ready to go, and let's go ahead and put the service disconnect in. Oh my god, it's already in. Just kidding. So inside this one is just a dummy disconnect, just to keep the battery sealed while I was over there. So I kind of destroyed one to make that, but you can see how this one just doesn't have anything in it, but it works to seal up the pack. I noticed when I removed this from my other pack, it went shh. So I guess I did a very good job sealing it up, but I didn't realize it could build some pressure in there. It wasn't a lot, but definitely sounded like pressure coming outwards. This pack, not so much, but I didn't want to jeopardize it getting kind of moisture in it, I guess. I don't know. So I did that, so I wouldn't take any chances with this fresh pack I got with 30,000 miles. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this guy in, and let's see if we get any fireworks. Alright, just gonna set that in there, and bam! That's it. So I have my dog on there and my fake Crocs kicking. So let's go ahead and turn this on. This will be the first time I turn it on since I put the back in. Oh, that looks So good. Oh man, just to think I can get 100,000 miles out of this guy pretty good before I'd run into where that other one's at. Alright, so let me go ahead and clear the code, and we'll get her going. Alright, so I finally got through. I was having difficulties because I didn't actually have an accessory mode. I had it in run mode, and I couldn't find the code, and I kept clearing stuff, and then finally I was like, oh yeah, I gotta put an accessory. So put an accessory, finally found the code. There it is right there. And then now we are good to go. I could even put in drive now. Alrighty. Pack number 3. Kind of unnecessary though. My first pack was removed and put in some other projects.